So after recording the entire process, kind of set this up, realized that the recording was not on. It was actually on, but it did not really record any of what I just recorded for this entire process. So kind of left with two choices now. Either to kind of do a breakdown of what I did for the entire thing or start all over again. So I think it should be, or it would be better. Let me just save this. I think it would be better if I just start all over again so you guys can kind of follow through step by step. Let me close this. So basically what I did was this. So first of all what I actually did was for on this, not this beard, the head scarf. For the head scarf, the center head hair description. Oh man, I think this is loading up again. Okay, the center head hair description. The width is on 0.1. Then the density is at 150. So you're just trying to load up again. Okay, so density is at 150, width is at 0.01. So leave that as it is. That's what I changed. Then back into the side air. For the side air, density is at 100, width is at 0.01. So that's basically all I adjusted for that. Then also I kind of turned on let's begin. Kind of turned on. Okay, I need to stop this IPR for now. I'll close this so we can work a bit faster. So let me just almost like start everything again from scratch. So we have this backdrop in here. So you want to make sure this backdrop is turned on. Initially it was kind of off. So I will kind of turn this off. So I'm just going to make sure everything is back to the way it was initially. So we're having something like this initially. This is what we had initially. So I went in here and turned on this backdrop. So she have to turn the backdrop. I have just an AI Arnold material in here. So I'm going to show you guys in a bit. So, but for the set, I'm going to do the settings in here first. Make sure you're using Arnold render settings for this. Then on the preset, I'm using my own preset. So I went to import. Then under user, I'm using this low setting for the user. So if I turn this on and I go back to the Arnold renderer, so this is the setting for this. So camera AA333. Just take a screenshot of this and then use the same setting for this. Then on the commons tab, I'm using this at 1K resolution. This is at 1K resolution. Then on the IPR, let me turn this off. On the view, this should be on 50%. That's the way it was default. So now I added a new AI Arnold material to this. But before doing that, I added a dome light to this. So let's see, add another dome light to this. So to create another dome light for this, let's just create another dome light for this. So I noticed that let me just turn off this resolution gate for now. I noticed that the dome light was not encompassing the entire scene. So I selected the dome lights. So this is AI Sky Dome. And I went to the scale tool and I scaled this up like so. So we have the model, so we have the backdrop inside this dome light. So then inside, okay, let's just do the same setting we used for the previous AI dome lights. So if I go to attributes, I added a color to it, so I should kind of repeat the same thing on this new AI dome light. So I went to color in here. Kind of make sure this resolution is on 2K. Sample should be on 2. Then this light should be on 0.4. 0.4 initially for the previous AI dome lights. Let's just check this and then see everything is the same settings. Back to this particular one. So I come here to color, I click on 5. So I kind of use the exterior from the Substance Painter library. So let me just go back and do this again. So you go to your local disk, program files, algorithm, Substance Painter, resources. So if you go to shelf, then in here, then go to environments, exterior. So I'm actually using this Mandarin 3. So first, now I'm not supposed to open this. Let's click on cancel on this. So back in here. So all I needed to do was copy the 5 parts for this. So just copy the 5 parts. Then on this, click on this folder icon. Now just paste this in here. Then click on the Mandarin 03. Click on it. So you want to make sure it's on raw. Very important. So another thing I did was to kind of rotate the light source. So if you notice very well, you see our sunlight is coming from this particular angle in here. So I would like to kind of rotate this to kind of face the character a bit more. So something like so. I'll just find an angle like this, just somewhere around here. So let's go to the previous one I had in there. Let's go to the attribute editor for this AI skylights. So we have this at minus, on the Y value at minus 111. So if I just copy this and select the new sky dome lights and just paste that in there, we should have both of them on the same angle. So let me just delete this new light I created. Let's just use the previous one that was there. So that kind of explains what I did for the lighting setup. So I'm basically using just one light setup for this. So now for the character itself, I think I might just have to plug in a new material, AI material for this. So let's just close this one now. So this is everything we had initially for this. So what I'm going to do is I'll leave this as it is, but I'm just going to create a new one. Or better still, let's just delete everything. Let's just leave it instead. Let's just create a new one. So what I want to do next is to select the main character, right click and hold, then go to assign new material. So we want to use an AI material for this. So let's just add AI standard surface to this. Okay, so let me just name this to male body AI. Okay, that's fine. Then for the backdrop, I also added a new AI material to this. So you can see it in here. So let me just rename this to yes. Let's just rename this to backdrop. Okay. Let's just add a new material to this. Then I'm going to use the same setting we used in here. But basically, only adjusted just two things. Just the color in here, then the roughness material in here. That's basically everything I did. So just right click and hold, add new material. So AI standard surface. So kind of have this almost all the way to full black like so. Then the roughness should be around 0.7 ish, somewhere around here should be fine. That's basically everything I did for that. So we go to our IPR render now. Let's turn on the resolution gauge for this. Let's just zoom in here a bit more. So if you come to, let's close this. Let's click on the AI render view again. You just minimize this. You just get this like so. Cannot make it a bit smaller. So fire up our IPR in here now. Let's see the live setup we have in here. So it's more or less like loading up our scene. It's more or less like loading up our scene in here. Let us give this a moment to kind of load up. Okay, so right off the bat we have something like so, which is not too bad since our light setup is actually okay for this. So carrying on with this, let's just start setting things up in here. So selecting this model again. Okay, so in here, the roughness map, the base roughness map, I will just make sure this IOR is on skin. Then let's kind of roughen this up like somewhere like so, should be fine for now. Okay, let's get a closer view on this. Let's get a closer view on this like so. Okay. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to add SSS to this. So let's just increase the surface scattering for this all the way up. So we should have something a bit washed out like so. Then I have some settings I'm going to use for the SSS shader. So for this I'm going to be using, let's see, I have it, yes, in here. So there's a particular color we're going to be using, a more flesh-like color for this. So under the radius, click on the radius, change this. Okay, this RGB, if yours should be on HSV, so kind of change this HSV to RGB 0 to 1.0. Then I'm going to type in the values in there. So 1 for this should be fine. Then on this green channel, on the green channel, should have 1.350. Then on the blue channel, should have 0.200. So this should be fine. Then the scale should be on 0.1, I believe, because I'm using this particular character has a realistic scale. So let's have some realistic values for this scale also. So this should be fine. Then this diffusion should be on random walk because this gives a better result. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to plug our albedo map into the subsurface color. So let's plug our albedo map into the subsurface color. So to do that, let's go to our hypershade. If you can't find your hypershade, just come to window, rendering editor, hypershade. Then we should have this in here. Okay, this is the formal material we had in here. Okay. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to come in here and select the new material we just created. Think male body. This is a lot of materials in here. Let's look for the male body. Let's just search for it in here. Male. That's him to find the material. Let's just make sure this is selected. Male body AI. Okay, I think this is it. This should be it in here. No, this is not. That is not it. Yeah, this is it here. Male body AI. This is the material in male body AI. So I'm going to click on this input and output connection. That's kind of drop this in here. Okay. So I'm going to go to where my textures are. So go to where my textures are. So XP textures, African garments. So I'm going to select this color map and I'll just drag this in here. Just drag and drop that in here. Select this, so I'll just drag this all the way here. So one thing you need to do, kind of make sure you do, is to select the material itself and make sure it's on sRGB. Just make sure it's on sRGB. That's completely fine. So once you have that in here now, there's one more thing we kind of doing here. Let's plug in an AI color correct node in here. So I will hit spacebar AI color correct. So I noticed that my material. Okay, you know what? Before we kind of plug this in, let's just plug this out color to the subsurface color. So let's just plug this out color to the subsurface color. Okay. Then right off the bat, we have this in here. This is what we are getting out of this now. Okay. So despite how normal this looks, let's kind of have some more. Let's kind of have this look a bit better by kind of adding a color correct node, because it feels a bit dull in color. So let's add a color correct node to this. So kind of click on this isolate in here. So once you click on this isolate, we're going to start by, let me just disconnect this for now. So I'm going to plug this to, let's create some more space in here. Let's create some more space in here. So I plug this, let's just unplug this. Let's unplug this. So I plug this out color to input. Otherwise it's not working. Okay, then we'll plug this out color to subsurface color in here. So once you plug that in, making sure your AI color correct node is being selected. So that will kind of isolate the node. Any particular node that has been selected now will be isolated. So that's why we have this option turned on. So now let's kind of change the saturation for this. So the value I used that kind of works fine for this. We'll collapse this one now. So we should have this in here in the attribute editor. So that is saturation value of 1.15. Hit enter. So that's something like this. So now if you go out of this isolating here, now we should have something like this, a bit more vibrant color to it. That's completely fine. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to add some select this model again. So come to the main settings for all of this. So next I'm going to kind of add some kind of roughness to this. So I'm going to be using the clear coat for this. So let's turn on clear coat. I'll increase this all the way up. Then for the, let's make sure this is on skin. That's fine. And on the roughness for this, we're going to plug in a material in here. So let's go back to our upper shade. Let me create some more space in here. So on our iPad sheet, let me just select this and kind of arrange this like so. So on our iPad sheet, clear code, let's make some space in here. So select all of this and just push this all the way here like so. Because we're gonna plug something into the color, into the quote roughness. So let's go back to the materials in here. So this is the roughness with it's played out of substance painter. So I'll just drag and drop this in here. So drag and dropping this in here. So I notice that the material is kind of in Arnold. Arnold views like in Arnold, your full white means more roughness. Your full white means more roughness, like more, not really more roughness, like more it kind of be more shiny. It's more like, how do I explain this now? Once you have a full white value inside of Arnold for your roughness, it becomes more reflective. It's more reflective. But a darker value means less reflection. That means it's more or less having a more broader roughness to it. But in substance painter, it's quite the opposite. So black means more reflection, while white means less reflection. So in here, it's kind of the inverse. So our map needs to be inverted instead of you can invert it inside of Photoshop, or you can still invert it inside of Maya if you want to. So I'm going to invert that instead of Maya. Let's have that inverted instead of Maya. So if we let's go to let's start by plugging this out. Yes, before we do that, let's select the texture first. Make sure the texture is selected. It's supposed to have something in here. Something is supposed to be showing in here. So select just this for now. Then make sure it's no longer on sRGB. It should be on RAW. Very important. Make sure it's on RAW. Then make sure alpha is luminance is turned on also. Let's just create some space in here. You can't really see that properly. So let's come back in here. Make sure you turn on alpha is luminance. So you can't say it's happening in there because we're just gonna plug this into the correct channel. So let's plug this out color to out alpha to coat roughness. This is the black and white material, so it should be more like an alpha material. So we come in here now and just put it to the side. You can see how this is being affected now, but it's not affecting it correctly. Though this looks actually nice, but not completely correct. So if we should go to the isolate now, let's see this isolated. Let's kind of invert the material, the texture. So to invert the texture, we need to bring in another AI correct node, or AI color correction node in here. So let's click on tab AI color correct. So the out alpha should go in here. No, sorry, the out color should go in here, and the out alpha should go into the both roughness. Okay. So if I select this node now, selecting this AI color correct node, then come to the attribute editor, we can just come in here and invert this. This is not working correctly. There seems to be a mistake in here. It seems to be working out. It seems there was actually think it's more or less like this Arnold render view was not actually updated. So you go back to our hyper shade, I just repeated the same thing. The out color goes to the input, out color goes to the inputs, then out alpha goes to the code roughness. So selecting this AI color correct now. If you invert this now, you can see it's working correctly now. So let's just get it inverted. So it should be more or less like so. This is how it should be. So turn off this isolate now. So we should have something like this now, which is fine. It's exactly what we want. Let's just make sure everything is correct the way it should be. So I'll select all of this. I'll just push this to the side like so. This should be fine. So make sure it's on color space is on raw. Push this out of the way. Make sure color space is on raw, and make sure alpha luminance is turned on. So which is actually fine. This is precisely what we want. So next thing we need to do is kind of add the normal map in here. So I can't use the displacement map because the displacement map was not picked out correctly inside of ZBrush. So I'm going to be using the one we use inside of Momoset toolbar for this. So the one I actually use for Momoset toolbar is, let me just go and bring that to be in Z export. To be on Z maps, then this particular file in here. So let's see. So let's stop this this render view now. Let's stop this IPR from rendering. Then we'll go back to the hyper shade. Let's start by creating an AI normal map node. So create this in here. So let's just put this around here. Create some more space. Let's just push this up. And I'll hit 1 on this. Kind of collapse everything down. Select all of this. Hit 1 on the keyboard. Just kind of get this some more space around here. So the out value should be plugged into normal camera. Then I'll come in here and I'll just drag and drop this into the scene, into this our hyper shade. Then we need to make sure selecting this node, select this node. You need to make sure it's on raw. Make sure you put this on raw. You don't have to turn on this alpha as luminance. It won't be necessary for this. But it's not a black and white material, so but we need to plug our out color to input. Let's create some more space in here. So plug our out color to inputs. It should be fine. So now let's go in here and fire up the IPR. So let's fire up this IPR in here. Let's see what that gives us. So this might kind of take a moment to kind of calculate because this particular map we just added is actually 8K, so this might take a while. Okay, that didn't take too long of a time though. So let's use the render region and kind of get a closer view on the face and kind of render this. For better still, let's stop this for now. And let's just get something a bit closer to the face. Like so. And fire up the IPR for this. Let's also make sure everything is working correctly. Okay, this will be on raw. Now I'm not very certain if this is affecting this or not. So let's get a closer view in here. Can't really see much of what is happening in there though. Let's just confirm with this in here. So add value to normal camera, add color to input. That's actually correct. But I still can't see anything happening in here. Need to close this and fire this up again. I believe this should work now. So I'm going to try to add or increase the intensity for this AI, for the strength of this. So let's put this around 3 for now. And let's render this out again. Let's see what that gives us. So I took a snapshot of the previous one, so it's kind of showing in there, but just needs it to be more, just needs to be more intense. Just needs, so just need this to be more intense. It's actually showing in there, but it needs to be more intense. So I'll plug this back in. Then I need this to be more intense. So let's put this to a value of around. Let's try a value of around 6 for this, and let's render this out again.